Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to Speaking Class with me, Miss Ika JP. We will continue our materials about public speaking in learning public speaking too. Well, in this video, we will learn about various types of speech. The first one, we will learn about the types of speech according to purposes. And for the second discussion, it is about types of speech according to delivery. Let's start from the first one, types of speech according to purposes. Probably you still remember that on your previous course about speaking, you have discussed about this, that there are three types of public speaking or three types of speech according to purposes. The first one is speaking to inform. The second one is speaking to persuade. And the third one is speaking to entertain. Do you still remember about these types of speech? Alright, let's discuss them one by one. For the first one, speaking to inform. In speaking to inform, usually it is done to deliver information on a particular topic or issue. And because this speech is very important, I mean the information delivered to the audience are very important, usually the speaker must do research first. Then the speech in speaking to inform must be not too long. Why? Because the audience will be bored with your performance. And the key success of speaking to inform can be how much the audiences understand the topic delivered by the speaker. Okay, so the speech in speaking to inform can be called as a success speech if the audiences understand the topic delivered by the speaker. Some types of speaking to inform are business presentation, probably seminars in colleges, class presentation in schools, or probably when you do presentation in front of your friends at colleges. Next is speaking to persuade. In speaking to persuade, the purpose is to persuade or to convince a group of people. This type of speech can be called as a difficult one. Why? Because usually the audiences have already had their own views about something. So probably you also need to change their point of view about something. You need to convince them about the information you delivered. That is why in speaking to persuade, usually the speaker must show the enthusiasm while speaking. Well, the practices of speaking to persuade can be seen in sales and marketing persons, politicians, and also religious leaders. These types of speaking can be called as a successful one by measuring how much the audiences can be convinced with the ideas or the views that you are proposed. Next, it is speaking to entertain. Speaking to entertain. Probably when you hear about this term, then you remember about stand-up comedy, right? Well, usually in speaking to entertain, the purpose is to share a funny story or other anecdotal information. So the purpose is to entertain the audiences. For example, when a man speaks at a wedding or an after-dinner speech given by a host of a party to thank guests for coming. Probably it is also happen in a stand-up comedy show. And of course, the topics are usually humorous and light. You cannot make people laugh by giving them a difficult topics, right? So, the success of speaking to entertain is by measuring or by seeing the audience laugh and pay attention to your story. This is a rather difficult one because you have to engage yourself with the audiences so that they can pay attention to your story and they can laugh to your story. Alright, let's continue to the second types. Types of speech according to delivery. Probably you also have discussed about this with your lecturers on your previous speaking class. There are four types. The first one is manuscript speaking. The second one is memorized speaking. Then impromptu speaking and extemporaneous speaking. Do you still remember the meaning of each types of speech according to delivery? Okay, let's discuss them one by one. Alright, the first type is manuscript speaking. Because it is a manuscript, it means that you have to prepare the written text first. Then after that, you read the speech word for word from its written text. So of course, when you conduct these types of speech, the manuscript speaking, you have to bring the notes on the stage and then read the notes, read the written text of your speech word for word. The second one is memorized speaking. Because it is memorized, it means that you also have to make the written text first, then you memorize the content of the written text. Then perform the speech based on your memory. Next is impromptu speaking. This is when you have to perform your speech with little or no preparation. How do you feel when you have to do this? You have no time to prepare anything. Someone just called you accidentally and then directly asks you to deliver a speech. Probably this impromptu speaking will be difficult for some people. Well, the next one is extemporaneous speaking. Well, in extemporaneous speaking, you still have time to prepare the outline, the structures, or the notes first. Not the complete speech, just like in the manuscript speaking, but you only have time to prepare the outlines on the structures. Then after that, it is delivered off the cuff, or it means that after you make the outline or the structure, you have to stand on the stage and deliver your speech with no preparation. You only bring the notes, you bring the outline, then you can be called as you develop the idea or the outline by yourself directly when you perform the speech on the stage. Well, this will be very difficult as well if you are not, if you do not train yourself in making a good speech, right? Okay, I think that's all for the types of speaking. And then let's go back to the WhatsApp group because you will have a task to do after this. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.